Srimad Bhagavad Gita and Ashtavakra Gita comparative study. Continue. The Lord Krishna says in Bhagavad Gita, equanimity. Equanimity is the main source to get in divinity. Equanimity, to be self-satisfied, and getting in equanimity. Whole essence of Gita is in equanimity yoga. Lord Krishna says, "Hey Arjun, you take pain and pleasure, loss and profit, victory and defeat equally. You take all of them equally. You take pain and pleasure, loss and profit, victory and defeat equally. But it is very difficult to understand. How can we take pain and pleasure equally? Pain is pain, pleasure is pleasure. Feeling of both are different. How can victory and defeat be equal? Our problem is we desire pleasure. We do not want pain. Likewise, we want profit, not loss. We want victory, not defeat. How we can make both equal? If we separate our desire from both, we will surprised to know duality disappeared. Your desire made them two. Otherwise, they are 2 points of the one stick. Otherwise, they are 2 points of the one stick. Hey Arjun, if you engage yourself in war, this way you won't fall in sins. When you are equal in sight, there is no sin. When you are equal in equanimity in sight, there is no sin. Action becomes neutral. If someone does sin, that is because of his desire within. Otherwise, there is no way for falling in sins. You just get rid of your desires and become free from all sins. It is a wonderful fact which people do not know. It is a wonderful fact which people do not know. Until and unless you have difference in loss and profit, pain and pleasure, victory and defeat, you are in sin. This verse of Lord Sri Krishna is very deep. The day you would see there is no difference in loss and profit, pain and pleasure, victory and defeat, you will free from all bondage. You will be free from all kind of bondage. Lord Krishna says further, equanimity yoga, who is not affiliated by these sense, because a calm person becomes fit for objects and is steady in pain and pleasure. Equanimity is the yoga, treating pleasure and pain, gain and loss, victory and defeat alike. Engage yourself in your duty. By doing your duty this way, you will not fall in sins. Do your duty to the best of your ability. O Arjuna, with your mind attached to the Lord, abandoning worry and selfishness and selfish attachment to the results, and remaining calm in both success and failure, you do your duty. You discharge your duty. The selfless service is a yogic practice that brings peace and equanimity of mind. Work done with selfish motives, is inferior by far to the selfless service. Therefore, be a selfless worker. Those who work only to enjoy the fruits of their labor are very, very unhappy because one has no control over the result. Because one have no control over the results. A karma yogi or the selfless person becomes free from both. Therefore, strive for selfless. Therefore, he strives for selfless service, working to the best one's ability without becoming selfish. Selfish attached to the fruits of work is called karma yoga. Non-selfish attached to the fruit of work is called karma yoga or seva. Karma yogis are freed from the bondage of rebirth due to renouncing the selfish attachment to the results, to the fruits of all work done, and attain blissful divine state of salvation or nirvana. A person whose mind is unperturbed by sorrow, a person whose mind is unperturbed by sorrow, who does not crave pleasure, and who is completely free from attachment, fear, and anger is called an enlightened sage of steady intellectuality. The mind and intellectuality of a person become steady who is not attached to the anything, who is not attached to anything, who is neither elated by getting desired results nor perturbed by undesirable results, who is contented with whatever gain comes naturally, who is contented with whatever gains naturally. A karma yogi by his will, who is unaffected by pair of opposite and free from envy, is not bound by karma. Is not bound by karma. Economist in success and failure. After knowing the transcendental science, Arjun, you shall not again become deluded like this. Arjun, you shall not again become deluded like this. With this knowledge, you shall see the entire creation within your own higher self. You shall see the entire creation within your own higher self, and thus within me also. A person should be considered a true renunciation. A person should be considered a true renunciation who has neither attachment nor aversion of anything. One is easily liberated from karmic bondage by becoming free from attachments and aversion. By becoming free from attachment and aversion. An enlightened person, by perceiving God, by perceiving God in all, looks at a learned person, an outcast, even a cow, by perceiving God in all, looks at a learned person, looks an outcast, a cow, an elephant, and dog with all equal eyes. Everything has been accomplished in this very life by the one whose mind is set in equality. Such a person has realized the Supreme Being because the Supreme Being is flawless and impartial. Because the Supreme Being is flawless and impartial. One who neither rejoices on obtaining what is pleasant, nor grieves on obtaining the unpleasant, who has a steady mind, who is undeluded, and who is knower of the Supreme Being. Such a person eternally, such a person eternally abides with the Supreme Being. Such a person eternally abides with the Supreme Being, is the mind and senses. One who has control over the lower self, tranquil in high heat and cold, in pleasure and pain, and in honor and dishonor, and remains ever steadfast with the Supreme Self. A person is called yogi, who has both self-knowledge and self-realization, who is equanimous, who has control over the mind and senses, and to whom a cloud, a stone, and gold are the same, for whom a cloud, a stone, and gold are the same. A person is considered superior who is impartial towards companion, friends, enemies, arbiters, haters, relatives, saints, and sinners. But a yogi who is in union with the Supreme, but a yogi who is in union with the Supreme Being sees every being with an equal eye. because of perceiving the omnipresent, because of seeing the omnipresent spirit abiding in all beings abiding in the Supreme Being, and all beings abiding in the Supreme Being. Those who perceive me in everything and behold everything in me, and those who perceive me in everything and behold everything in me are not separated from me, and I am not separated from them, and I am not separated from them. The self is present equally in all beings. There is no one hateful dear to me, but those who worship me with love. But those who worship me with love and devotion are very close to me, and I am also very close to them. I am also very close to them. All these seekers are indeed noble, but I regard the enlightened sage as my age like myself only. But I regard the enlightened sage as my age like myself only, because the one who is steadfast abides in my supreme abode. But those who worship the unchallengeable, the inexplicable, the invisible, the omnipresent, the inconceivable, the unchanging, the immovable, and the formless, impersonal aspect of God, restraining all the senses, even minded, under all circumstances, engaged in the welfare of all creatures, also attain God. One who does not hate, one who does not hate any creature, and who is friendly and compassionate, free from the notion of I, free from the notion of I and my, even minded in pain and pleasure, forgiving and ever contented. One who neither rejoices, one who neither rejoices nor grieves, neither likes nor dislikes, who has renounced both the good and the evil, who has renounced both the good and the evil, and is full of devotion is dear to me. The one who remains the same, the one who remains the same towards friends and foes, in honor or disgrace, in heat or cold, in pleasure or pain, who is free from attachment, who is free from attachment, who is indifferent to censure or praise, who is quiet and contented with the whatever he or she has, unattached to a place, a country, or a house, that person is dear to me. That person is dear to me. Equanimous and full of equanimous and full of devotion. The one who sees the same eternal supreme Lord dwelling as separate. One who sees the same eternal supreme Lord dwelling as separate equally within all mortal beings truly sees. When one beholds one and the same Lord existing equally in every being, one does not injure anybody. That one does not injure anybody because one considers everything as own self and thereupon attains the supreme divinity. The one who depends on the Lord and is indifferent to pain and pleasure, to whom a cloud, a stone, and a gold are alike, to whom the deer and the unfriendly are alike, who is of firm mind, who is calm in censure and in praise, and the one who is indifferent to honor and disgrace, who is impartial, is said to friend and foe, who has renounced the sense of doership, have transcended the modes of martial nature, who have transcended the modes of material nature. Absorbed in the Supreme Being, the Syrian one neither grieves nor desires, becoming impartial to all beings, becoming impartial to all beings, one obtains the highest devotional love. One obtains the highest devotional love for God. The art of living is nothing to choose between two. The art of living is nothing to choose between two. No liking, no disliking, no love, no hate. It is very hard. Selection is always easy. Selection is always easy. Lord Krishna says, don't choose between two. Lord Krishna says, don't choose between two. Both are equal. Understand this properly. When both are equal, where is question to choose? Where is the question arises to choose? Selection is always possible when one is better than the other. Selection is always possible when one is better than the other. One is lucky and another is unlucky. One is successful and another is unsuccessful. There is imbalance somewhere. Lord Krishna says there is no need to check. Both are equal. There is no need to check. Both are equal. Realizing I am not concerned with both. I am far away from both. When seeing of two would finish and flower of oneness will bloom. Then flower of oneness will bloom. That is yoga of equanimity. And whoever would get equanimity in his life, there will be nothing to gain. Whoever would get equanimity in his life, there will be nothing to gain. Therefore, Krishna says, "Hey Arjuna, you get in equanimity. You get in equanimity. Leave the worries of success or unsuccess, victory or defeat, violence or non-violence, virtue or sin." In the same way, Ashtavakra says, equanimity yoga, pain, pleasure and religion all are illusion. Ashtavakra is adding religion also in this verse. O expensive one, religion and atheism, happiness and misery, all are of mind and heart. They are not for you. You are neither doer nor enjoyer. You are neither doer nor enjoyer. You are always in liberation. Soul is always in liberation. Understand and changes will start to take place automatically. There is nothing to do except to understand. There is nothing to do except to understand. If you can listen thoroughly with your whole mind, it is enough. If you listen thoroughly with your whole mind, it is enough. Nothing is going to happen by doing. You do not have anything to try later on. Be liberated right now. Be enlightened this very moment. Be enlightened this very moment. No one stops you. You are witness of whole world. You are witness of whole world, unattached and without form. Know this and be happy. Though there is no need to wait. It is a leap. There is no need to climb up step by step. There is no need to climb up step by step. It can happen this very moment or otherwise it will never happen. If you left it for tomorrow, it will never happen. If you allow Ashtavak, his statements will penetrate into your heart like an arrow. If you allow Ashtavakra, his statement will penetrate into your heart like an arrow. Awakening will happen. Listening means you are not doing. It happens while you are listening. It happens when you are listening. It is not an act. It is not a doing. It is happening. When there is no desire within means meditation. If you are doing meditation to gain something, it is waste. If you are doing meditation to gain something, it is waste. The day you do not demand anything is the day when you get everything. The day you do not demand anything is the day when you get everything. A yogi is also not desireless because he seeks no spiritual pleasure. He is not different. He still has desire to enjoy. He could not find it in the world, so he searches in divinity. But search is continuing. Search is continuing. As long as there is something to do, tension continues. You have done lot of running. Now you stop at least. At least now you stop somewhere. Relaxation is the key to meditation. Relaxation is the key to meditation. Efforts create tension. It is very easy to wake up who is sleeping, but the man who is lying awakens and pretending to sleep. How will you awake him? How will you awake him who is pretending to sleep? No one can awake him. You can awake yourself. Awake the pure consciousness within. Awake the pure consciousness within. Look at things as onlooker. Look at things as onlooker. Don't think, because thinking means process of mind has started. Because thinking means a process of mind has started. Ashtavakra is a messenger of conscious and witnessing. Ashtavakra is a messenger of consciousness and witnessing. If there is happiness, just observe it. If there is unhappiness, just observe it. Let both come and go. Do not let them overpower you. Be identified with one thing. Be identified with one thing. You are observer. You are one witness. Equanimity yoga. There is no other one. There is no other one. Ashtavakra said, you are the one observer of all. Ashtavakra said, you are the one observer of all and always free. You are presuming someone else an observer, not yourself. That is the problem you have. How much do you know about yourself? If you want to know yourself, if you want to know yourself, you will have to stop looking image in the eyes of others. You have to stop looking image in the eyes of others. If you want to know your soul, you will have to leave other behind. You will have to leave other behind. A spectator is one whose eyes are on others, and an observer is one whose eyes are on himself. To be a spectator is one kind of forgetting himself. Very rare someone is awakened. Very rare someone is awakened to see within. A person who is free from doing has no desire to exhibit himself to others. A person who is free from doing has no desire to exhibit himself to others. He knows trap of seeing and showing is false. He knows trap of seeing and showing is false. He attains non-attachment and freedom from all desires. He attains non-attachment and freedom from all desires. Even if you inwardly wish people to think you virtuous and better, you understand you are still in the same old web. You are still in the same old web. If you wish in your heart that people know you are religious, you are still caught in the same old web. I heard there was a Sheth who built his bathroom with mirrors. He put mirrors after mirrors inside the bathroom, and once his dog was shut in that bathroom, he was left inside by mistake. You can understand that dog condition. He was seeing his face in the mirror. He was seeing his face in the mirror and thinking some other one is there. Dog was barking on him, scratching on the mirror. It is the same with man's it is the same with man's condition. It is the same with the man condition. The dog barked, but there was only mirror, and in mirror after mirror, dog, dog barked back. The sound returned to him. This was his own echo. He barked the whole night and chased the mirror and bathed in his own blood. And bathed in his own blood. No one else was there. He was alone. He was found dead in the morning. There were blood stains all over the floor. His story is the story of man. His story is the story of man. There is no other one. Other one does not exist. Here is only one in all. Here is only one in all of us. But this will not be understood until you have caught hold of that one within. until you have caught hold of that within. You are the observer of all. Your boundary is that you see someone else as the observer. Liberation is to know yourself. Liberation is to know yourself as observer. You try this experiment.